Good afternoon, everyone. I am Teacher Tahric. I am just one of the teachers at 18K. I've been at the school for a long time, and right now I'd like to welcome you to our reading grade 2 class. This is approximately grade 2, a little bit difficult for some, but here we go. I have two stories or two topics that we're going to discuss today. One is about a boy named Lee and his birthday party. The boy or girl named Lee. And the second one is about the beach. One of my favorite places to go. I love the beach. So let's get started. So the first story is just a happy birthday story, and it is called Happy Birthday, Lee. Let me call that up for you. Happy Birthday, Lee. Happy Birthday, Lee. Lee sent notes to his friends. The notes said, "It's my birthday. Come to a party. Where? 18 Elm Street. When? May 2nd at 11. We will have fun. Lee." So Lee has sent out an invitation to all of his friends to come to his birthday party. And we will go on. Next, it says, Dad baked a big cake for the party. It looked like a spaceship. He cooked hot dogs and buns on the grill. He made lemonade to drink. So let's look at some of these things that are happening. First thing they talk about is they talk about hot dogs and buns. One moment. So let's look at a few of the words that we do go over, or we will be going over in this story. One moment. I'm going to share my whole screen. So here, let's look at some of these words. Forget about this high tide. So some of the words that we're going to look at in the story are chips. Now, chips are a kind of snack. They're dried potatoes. We eat them. We can get them at 7-Eleven or places like that. I'll show you a picture of chips. So chips. Who likes chips? Chips are pretty yummy, crispy, but don't eat too many chips. They're not good for you. In England, they also call French fries, or what we call French fries, they will call them chips. And I believe the English calls what North American English calls chips. They call them crisps or crisps crackers. I think crisps are crackers. After that, whoopsies. After that, uh-oh, I made a mistake. After that, some of the other words we will see as the story goes on. Anyways, so Dad baked a big cake for the party. It looked like a spaceship. He cooked hot dogs and buns on the grill. He made lemonade to drink. So lemonade is a kind of sour drink. It's lemons and sugar and water. So lemonade is a type of drink made with lemons. What else did we talk about? We talked about buns. Now, a bun is a small round bread. You could have like a hamburger bun. You could also have hot dog buns. So it's a It's a type of small bread, is what you would call a bun. Usually rounded, not like sliced bread. So a bun is a type of small piece of bread, usually round. What else? We have chips, backyard, and we also have paper plates. So paper plates are literally just plates or dishes made out of paper. Plates or dishes made out of paper. Let me show you a picture. So lemonade, yummy, yummy, lemonade. I like lemonade. I especially like pink lemonade. It just looks cool, looks more refreshing. So that's lemonade. We also have buns. So a bun, you have many different types of bun. In the story, they specifically talk about hot dog buns. So hot dog buns are what you put your hot dogs inside of. And the next thing that we will look at are paper plates. So paper plates are small plates made out of paper. Well, they could be big or small. Let's say you're having a party, a lot of people are coming over. You don't want to wash all of those dishes, or maybe you just don't have that many dishes and you need something to serve for many people. You see these at kids' birthday parties or sometimes at dinner parties. Paper plates. Let's see, back to the story. Mom had hung stars. Oh, sorry. Mom went to the store. She got chips to go with the hot dogs. She got ice cream. One moment. She got ice cream to go with the cake. So ice cream and cake, those sound delicious together. Mom and Dad hung stars and moons in the backyard. They set the table with paper plates. They put party hats by the plates. So we all know what party hats look like. Party hats are these pointy birthday hats, party hats. Usually they're pointy like this. I don't know why they have this shape all the time, but those are party hats. Lee's friends came to the party at 11. Let's go into the backyard, said Lee. We're going to play games. After they played games, it was time to eat. Come and get your hot dogs, called Lee's dad. The hot dogs were good. Mike ate 3 of them. He ate a lot of chips. Then he drank a lot of lemonade. You'll get sick, Mike, said Tammy. I like hot dogs and lemonade, said Mike, and he took a big drink. So right now, Mike is eating a lot of hot dogs and he's eating a lot of lemonade. Tammy says, slow down, you're going to get sick, but Mike is not listening. He just keeps eating. What do you think is going to happen to Mike? Any ideas? It's time for cake, called Lee's mom. So on birthdays, there is always the tradition of blowing out the birthday candles. Oh, I missed my search, so let's see, sing. The birthday cake, blowing out the candles, the whole tradition. Oh, I had where's the one with the little girl?
Excuse me.
I had called one up earlier. Now I can't find it. Let's see.
All right,
London's
boys and girls, on the count of 3, we're gonna sing Happy Birthday to London. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear London. Happy birthday to you. How old are you now? How old
cut it up?
What's a cake so much?
Not edible.
It's a toy.
It's okay, but would you guys like any more pictures before we cut the cake?
Okay, London. So how old is London today? Anybody? How old is London today? Any ideas? Any ideas who the characters are on London's cake that looked like Dora and Diego? Let's keep going. So it's time for the cake. Called Lee's mom. So Lee's mom invites everybody to come sing happy birthday. Lee made a wish and blew out the candles. Lee and his friends ate ice cream with their cake. Mike ate a lot of cake. He ate a lot of ice cream too. You'll get sick, Mike, said Maggie. I like cake and ice cream, said Mike as he took another bite. So now he's eating a lot of cake. So he already ate a lot of hot dogs. And he already drank a lot of lemonade. Now he's eating a lot of cake and a lot of ice cream. Next, Mom called, "Come on, Lee. It's time to open your presents." Best part of the birthday. Time to open your presents. Maggie gave Lee skates. So Maggie gave Lee skates. Tammy gave him a kite. Mike gave him a toy ape with a hat. And then Mom and Dad gave Lee a green bike. Lee hugged his mom and dad. "Thank you," said Lee. "I love my new bike. I can't wait to ride it." "Thank you," Lee told his friends. "Come on, let's play with them." All of a sudden, Tammy shouted, "Mike, you look green." What do you think that means to say that somebody looks green? Saying somebody looks green means that they look sick. "Oh," moaned Mike, "I feel sick. I want to go home." While Dad took Mike home, Lee and his friends played. They had fun with Lee's new toys all afternoon, except for Mike. He had to go home because he had eaten too much stuff. So paper plates, what other words do we have here? Moan. Moan is a sound that you make when you're very uncomfortable. So moan. And uncomfortable or painful sound. But it's not a scream. A moan is a low, like, my stomach, That is what a moan is. That is what a moan is. That is what a moan is. Let's look at our Jamboard over here. And let's see if we can find the answers to these questions. So actually, these questions are all from the story. Can I make this a little bit wider? One moment, make this a little bit bigger. Now, the first one, fill in the circle or write the answer. Why did Lee have a party? Why do you think Lee has a party in this story? Is it because it was Mike's birthday? Is it because, hold on, is it because it was Mike's birthday? Is it because he's having a sleepover? Or is it because it is Lee's birthday? Which one do you think it is? If you said it was Lee's birthday, then you are correct. So the answer here is it was Lee's birthday. All right, now I gotta try to type on here. Bum, 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 bum. Who came to Lee's party? Who came to Lee's party? If we look at the top of the story, right here, it says Lee's friends came to the party. So it doesn't say exactly who comes to the party. All we know is Lee's friends came to the party. Make this a little wider. Now, this is weird. Why are we doing this? Lee's friends. Lee's friends came to the party. Giant, giant words. List Lee's presents. So what are some of the things that Lee got for presents? Does anybody remember? What did Lee get as his gifts? What does Lee get as his gifts? Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Lee's presents. So if we go down here and look for what Lee got as presents, Mom called and said, "Come on, Lee, it's time to open your presents." Maggie gave Lee skates and Tammy gave him a kite. Mike gave him a toy ape with a big hat. Then Mom and Dad gave Lee a green bike. So, what are Lee's presents if we're to put them in a list? So, Lee's presents would be first thing he got. First thing Lee gets are skates. So remember, this says a list, so we don't have to write a sentence because it says list Lee's presents. So he gets skates, and we'll look at what these things are in a moment. The next thing he gets is from Tammy. Tammy gave him a kite. And what did Mike give him? The thing that Mike gave him, he's holding it in his hand. So Mike gave him a toy ape. So he got skates, a kite, a toy ape. And what is his big gift from his mom and dad? So he gets toy apes and he also gets a bike. Lee, after getting his bike, he thanks his mom and dad. Let's look. Let's look at some of the things that Lee got as his gifts. First thing is skates. So there are different kinds of skates. You have, skites. There are different kinds of skates. You have ice skates, like here. You have ice skates. You have roller skates. And you have inline skates. Those are many different kinds of skates. So when you're saying skates, you have to specify whether you're talking about skates with blades, skates with inline wheels, or four-wheel roller skates. So for Taiwan, since it doesn't snow very much here, or you don't really get a lot of ice, for skates, I'm just going to say skates are like shoes with wheels on them. With wheels or blades. So the blades are for ice. And what skates do is skates will help you move better on ice. They have, well, if you know how to skate, they will also help you move better on flat ground. And remember, poor Mike, he doesn't make it because poor Mikey Mike, he gets sick. But the question is, why does Mike get sick? Do any of us remember? Why does Mike get sick? So why does he get sick, or why did he get sick? Does anybody remember? Does anybody remember why Mike gets sick? Hello? I can't get any bigger. Nobody remembers why Mike gets sick. So why did Mike get sick? Was it because he was getting a cold? Was it because he ate food that was bad? Or was it because he ate too much food? So if you said he was getting a cold, you were wrong. If you said he ate food that was bad, you're also wrong. If you said that he ate too much food, then you are right, because that is the answer. Mike ate too much food. Now, the next thing, fill in the circle in front of the food that the children ate at Lee's party. So before Mike gets sick, we can see they ate a bunch of different things at the party. So let's take a look. So here it was time to eat. Dad says, come and get your hot dogs. And the hot dogs were good. So we could see that they did eat hot dogs. So that's the first thing that we can say they ate. After hot dogs, what else do they eat? What else do they eat? So Mike ate 3 hot dogs and he ate a lot of chips. So another thing that they eat at the party are chips. After that, he drank a lot of, what is this word? Cold drink served with lots of lemon and sugar and water. That is lemonade. So Mike also drank a lot of lemonade. Oh, I made a mess there. You make that a little bit neater. Not much better, but a little bit better. You'll get sick, Mike said. Tammy, don't drink all the lemonade and eat all the. So hot dogs and lemonade, that's what Mike drinks and eats. Then we say it's time for cake. So where's cake? Birthday cake. So they do eat birthday cake. And what do they eat with their cake? Remember? So they eat their cake. So remember, Mike ate a lot of cake and he ate a lot of ice cream too. So they ate cake and they have ice cream. I like cake and ice cream, said Mike. I think that's all they eat. So those are the things they eat. They eat birthday cake, they eat chips, lemonade, hot dogs, ice cream. There's no pizza in the story, no soda, no chicken, and no candy. Pop, pop, pop. So those are the answers here. Let's move on to the next frame. Now, in the next frame, we have to name some of these. What do you call these things? Name some of these objects from the story. So some of these objects appear in the story. This is the first one. This is, if you eat a hot dog, you would eat your hot dog on one of these. And what is it? It's a bun. So I showed you earlier the hot dog bun. Now this one is a little bit tricky. So number 2 is a little bit tricky because you might look at it and you would say it's a barbecue, which you are right. You can call that a barbecue, but we're just talking about the very top of the barbecue, the part of the barbecue you put the food on, and that part of the barbecue is called the grill. The grill, that's the grill. Let's move it up to look a little bit prettier. Whoa. Bun, let's move bun up to look a little bit nicer. And the next one, something that a lot of us like to eat. It's crispy, it's made out of potatoes. They're crunchy, they're salty. They are chips. No. Here we go. Chips. The next one down, it is like a monkey with no tail. What do we say those are called? Actually, you know what? Let me write that down in the Google Doc. So a monkey with no tail, kind of humans are in this category of animals. If you're into science, if you like science or animals, humans are in this category. We are, and these are apes. So that animal is an ape. The next thing is what looks like a thing. It flies in the sky when it is windy outside. They're fun to play with at the beach. That is a kite. And the next word, you sit at one of these when you want to go on a picnic, or even if you're sitting at a computer right now, you're probably sitting at one of these things. It has 4 legs, it's flat, you could put things on top of it. It is a table. If you said table, that is right. This is a table. And this silly looking hat, what did we call these silly looking hats? These are from the story. I could show you where they are in the story. Close to the beginning of the story, it says, Mom and Dad hung stars and moons in the backyard. They set the table with paper plates and they put party hats by the plates. So this is what we call a party hat. Party! Party har, party hat. This is a yummy, delicious drink made from lemons. That's a big clue. A yummy, delicious drink made from lemons. What do you think that could be called? Hmm? It is called lemonade. Da, 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 da. Stop doing this. Lemonade. And last one. Short word. There are many different kinds of these shoes with wheels on them. What are shoes with wheels on them called? They are called, and it rhymes with late. What is it? What is it? What is it? These are called skates. So that's that for Happy Birthday, Lee. There's more to the story. Let's see if we could, I don't know if we want to do some more. I don't do any more writing for now. Oh, let me just, first, let's let you see all of this in case you want to take another look at the answers. So the first one is a bun, second one, grill, chips, fourth is an ape, fifth is a kite, sixth is a table, seventh is a party hat, 8 lemonade, 9 skates. There are no numbers. I'm just going in the order that I see them in. So skates, lemonade, ape. Let me write down ape. So what is an ape? An ape, ape. So apes are usually what are considered some of the smarter, more advanced of the monkeys. Type of monkey. I think they're monkeys with no tail, like a gorilla. A gorilla is an ape. Are any apes monkeys? Let me see. Apes. Bump, bump, bump. As you can see, these apes. So you have Planet of the Apes, the movie, chimpanzees, gibbons, orangutans, bonobo, chimpanzee. Hold on, let me try this again. I think that's a bonobo. Bonobo. gibbon, gorilla, orangutan, chimpanzee, I believe. But here's some photos of the different apes. As you see, no tail. Generally, they're pretty big. And there is Caesar from Planet of the Apes. Not real, but I thought it was a pretty good movie. Tail like a gorilla. Let's go back to this. We can answer some more questions. Mike came to Lee's party. Oopsies. So let's look at the order that these are supposed to go in. So what happens in the story if we're going in order? So tell me about Mike. So Mike in the story. The first thing that happens is, number one, Mike came to Lee's party. Mike came to Lee's party. That is the first thing that happened in the story. Number two, what is the second thing that happens in this story? The second thing that happens in the story is, what do you think? The second thing that happens in the story is when one of the girls are saying you're eating too much, it's because Mike ate 3 hot dogs. That's the next thing he does. Ate 3 hot dogs. Bump, bump, period, period. Mike ate 3 hot dogs. Number 3, what happens next? After he eats 3 hot dogs, After he eats 3 hot dogs, what comes next? Does he get sick next? Does Lee's dad take him home next? The next thing that happens is, if you said Mike ate a lot of cake, you are right. Mike ate a lot of cake. Mike ate a lot of cake. That is the next thing that happens. Number 4, what is the next thing that happens after Mike eats a lot of cake? After Mike ate a lot of cake, then 4, Mike got sick. Ooh. Mike got sick next. And 5, last thing that happens. Everybody should guess this one. So the first thing is Mike came to Lee's party. Number 2, Mike ate 3 hot dogs. Number 3, Mike ate a lot of cake. 4, Mike got sick. And 5, this is the last one left. The only one left is Lee's dad took Mike home. So the last part, this is near the end of the story. Lee's dad took Mike home. And then the rest of the kids kept playing because they didn't eat too much. Too much cake and candy and ice cream, not good. So those are the things that happened. And if we move on, which sound do you hear? Let's skip this. Write a sentence using one word from each column. Now, each of these words on this page are going to end with OLD. So as you see here, you have told, FOLD will be fold, MOLD will be mold, COLD, cold, hold, and sold. Like the past tense of sell is sold. Let me just write some of these down. So told is the past tense of tell. Told, fold, cold is easy, hold, sold. Sold is the past tense of sell. So if I sell my bike to somebody, or if I sell my car to somebody, somebody's giving me money for something. Fold Fold is hard to describe. Fold. How would I describe fold? I think maybe I will just get the Chinese for you. Fold is like I can fold a piece of paper. I have a piece of paper that's flat and I put the two sides together. That is to fold it. Let's look here. Translate. Fold. Oopsies. Fold, 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 fold. So to fold is to put something. Basically, you're making the sides of something touch each other. So to fold is to make a flat thing take up less space. That's the best I could say without using the Chinese as far as fold. It's hard to describe that word. But anyways, number one in this, write the new words in these to make your sentences. Is this a copyable sentence? I don't think so. Number one, I put on mittens when it is. So I put on mittens when it is. Anybody? I put on mittens when it is cold. So mittens are things that you put on your hands, and they are used to keep your hands warm. Number two, mom, me to go to bed. So if your mom says, go to bed, what is that? That is, mom, me to go to bed. Mom told me to go to bed. So we have told, we have cold. The next one is, mom told me to go to bed. Oh, sorry. Oh man, I missed it. Number two. Number two, can I what your puppy? Can I hold your puppy? Can I hold your puppy? Yes, you can hold my puppy. Number four, will you help me this blanket? So we have this big blanket and we have to make it smaller so we could put it in the closet. What do we do with the blanket? Will you help me fold this blanket? Number five, Dad, our old car. So we had an old car and now Dad doesn't have it anymore. So what did Dad do with it? Did he throw it in the garbage? Do you throw an old car in the garbage? Or do you sell it to someone else? Yes, you would sell it to someone else. So Dad sold our old car. And last one, number six. There was on the bread. There was mold on the bread. There was mold on the bread. Now this word is a little bit difficult. Mold is something that will grow. Something that will grow on something. Like if you have old bread, yes, if you have old bread, you will get mold on it. So let's see, mold. This one we won't do, and that's it for this. So let me just write mold for you. One of the words to know. So mold is something that grows on old food. Mold can be white, mold can be black. Who is ready to see a picture of yucky mold? Anybody? Let's look at a yucky mold picture. Mold. There we go. Lots of mold. Moldy, moldy. Yuck. Oh, there's mold. Scientists putting mold. Very all yucky mold. Moldy oranges. Let's moldy bread. Exactly what we were talking about. The bread has mold, right? Is that what we said? We said, uh, yes, there was mold on the bread. So mold on the bread looks like that. For some reason, bread grows mold very easy. I'm not sure if it's because of the sugar that's inside, but it's very easy to get moldy bread. And mold grows in places where things are wet. So Taipei is wet. Lots of mold in around the city. I'm sure you guys are tired of looking at moldy food, so we can stop. We can stop with the moldy food. We can stop, take a break from the moldy food. And we are going to move on. Let's see. Let's move on to the next thing. The next thing we're going to move on to is at the beach. So the beach, one of my favorite places. I don't know about you guys, but I love the beach. The beach to me is such a wonderful place. It's too bad I cannot go to the beach right now. Happy Birthday, Lee was the name of our first story. So let me just write that title. And we move on to, let me write that title and we'll move on to At the Beach. Happy birthday, Lee. Big birthday, big birthday. Underline and bold. At the beach. Let's make that bigger to show how much I love the beach. At the beach. And underline. Let me look over here. Now in this photo that you can see for At the Beach, you have a shell sitting on the beach. This is Oxford Read and Discover. You have a shell that is sitting on the beach. And it looks like a hermit shell. A hermit crab's shell. Hermit crabs. Where's my hermit crab? Where's my hermit crab? I put away my hermit crab video, so let me look for a new video for this hermit crab. There was a video I saw, Taiwan giant hermit crab. Not one of these. No, 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 no. It was a hermit crab in a There's a hermit crab in a, what do you call it? This one. A hermit crab in a snail shell. I've never seen a hermit crab quite this size. I'm not sure where this is, but it says in Taiwan. Usually the hermit crabs that I see are about this big, but this one, judging by its snail shell, it looks like it could be quite big. Let me stop here. And get back to the beach, or at the beach, sorry. Now at the beach, I'm not sure if any of you enjoy the beach. A lot of people don't like the beach because it's a very sunny place. It can be very hot. It depends on how much you like hot weather and how much you like swimming in the ocean, or if you have any fear of the ocean. Introduction. At the beach, the ocean meets the land. Many amazing plants and animals live there. So what are some of the plants and animals that live at the beach? There's so many. There's so many animals that you can find at the beach. So let's just look at these. Well, seals, we don't have those here. Sea turtles, I've actually seen sea turtles. Here we have many birds. We have jellyfish. I have not seen pigs, and I have not seen horseshoe crabs here, at least not in Taipei. Sometimes you'll get sand stars or starfish that will come up onto the beach. Dogs obviously like the beach. People love the beach. Sand alligators love the beach. So there are many different things that live on the beach. The beach is it's a very lively place. Here you can see a lot of seabirds in this picture. Those look like sandpipers, I'm guessing. So what can you see at the beach? What are some of the things you can see at the beach? You can see the ocean, you can see the sand, you can see people, you can see waves, you can see people surfing. All kinds of things happen at the beach. Sometimes you'll see fish jumping out of the water. The beach is a very, very active place, generally, most of the time. So at the beach, every day the ocean goes up in the beach at high tide, and it goes down the beach at low tide. So high tide and low tide. High tide is when the water is high. High tide. High tide is when the ocean water is high. And low tide is when the ocean water is low. When the water level is low, that is low tide. You'll notice this if you go to the beach, if you go, let's say you get there in the afternoon and you stay until the evening, you will notice that either the water will get higher and you'll have to move your towel and move your things back, or it will get lower where you have to walk further to get to the actual water. And high and low tide happens at different times just based on where the sun and where the moon are in the sky. So let me show you a little thing about high and low tides. I will talk about it more later, a little bit complex. So gravity, what she's talking about, gravity is the force that causes some things or causes things to fall down. Gravity, what causes things to fall. Our Earth has gravity, so we fall to the Earth because the Earth has gravity, because it's big. But the sun also has gravity, and the moon also has gravity. And the gravity of those two bodies also pulls on the Earth, and you can see that in the water, which is why there's tides. Spring tides would be when the moon is directly in front of the sun, then there is more pulling on the Earth and more pulling on the water. And as you can see, the water gets very deep on the sides of the Earth. Spring makes sense. So those are the high tide and low tide. And if we look at this photo, you can see in the first picture, everybody's in the water. That's high tide. The water's up to their knees. And then low tide, what am I doing? At low tide, everybody is just kind of standing on the sand because the water has pulled back. That is high tide and low tide. Now the ocean moves with the wind too. The wind makes waves. The ocean is salt water. It's big and strong. So the wind causes waves, and sometimes waves can get gigantic. If we look at this, we have some surfers that are jumping or trying to jump on waves. In Portugal. Besides that, Trumbo. So you see his friend comes and pulls him away on the jet ski before the next wave comes for them. Ooh, so fast. Saves him. And they both get swallowed up a little bit. Yes, waves are very powerful. The ocean is very powerful. So those are waves. The ocean can break rocks and shells into little pieces. So the sand that we see on the beach, depends on which beach you're at, it's made out of rock that's been broken down into very small pieces. Very small pieces. Sand can be from can be from broken rock. Sand can also be from broken seashells. And sand, a lot of times, is coral. So coral, let me look for what coral is. So coral is a hard, rocky structure that grows in the ocean. So let me see. Hard animal houses that grow in the ocean. And I will find you the Chinese to better explain what that is. I know what it is. Coral. There we go. So coral grows in the ocean, and coral is part of what sand is made out of. So coral gets broken as well, and we have animals that eat coral, like the parrotfish. So the parrotfish loves coral. Actually, let me get back to that after my beautiful beaches. Parrotfish. Parrotfish is a very nice looking fish, very beautiful, very colorful. They have a hard mouth, and what they do is they bite off pieces of coral with this hard beak mouth. They bite off pieces of coral and they poop it out. And that poop comes back to the beach, and the parrotfish poop is actually what makes white sand beaches. Parrotfish poop, sand. We have videos of this happening. So there's a photo of one dropping some sand, and here's a white sand beach, and like they said, it's basically parrotfish poop. The most beautiful beaches in the world are made out of poop. It's pretty interesting. Where's my parrotfish poop? Let me try this again. So parrotfish. Parrotfish poop sand video. There's many videos of this, of them dropping their poop out. Oh, are we slowed down?
Everyone knows Hawaii as a tropical paradise with cranky volcanoes and fabulous white sand beaches. What most people don't realize is that those beaches are almost entirely composed of fish poop. That's right, you heard me. Fish poop. Enter the parrotfish, a bizarre creature with an appetite for the algae that grows on coral. The fish gnaws the stuff off with those beak-like teeth, but in the process also strips calcium carbonate from the reef. And I'm talking a lot of it. A single parrotfish can eat enough calcium carbonate to produce 800 pounds of sand a year. And over in Australia, another species can lay down a ton of it, like literally a ton of it. But if you can believe it, pooping out beaches isn't even the most intriguing thing about the parrotfish. Its sleeping bag of snot is. Like a narcoleptic that's accidentally taken sleeping pills, the parrotfish is an unusually heavy sleeper, and that might put it in danger of predation. As a countermeasure, it'll tuck itself into the reef and excrete a balloon of mucus. This bubble could serve to mask its scent or work as an alarm when a predator bumps against it. Parrotfish also get busy in a very bizarre way.
So the parrotfish, it makes kind of almost like a spider web out of spit to protect itself when it is sleeping. But that is another topic. Now, he mentioned that one parrotfish, because of chewing up all the coral that they chew on, they're chewing it accidentally. They're eating stuff that grows on the coral, but they do end up scraping off some coral. And one parrotfish a year can produce 800 pounds of sand in their poop. So they're making sand. That is 362 kilograms a year of sand from one parrotfish, just chewing off chewing off the coral and pooping it out. So that is coral. Now let's get back to this. The ocean can break rocks and shells into pieces. The pieces of rocks and shell hit the water and other rocks. Then they get very little. This is how the ocean makes rocks and shells into sand. Now we are going to answer some questions about this. Is that the end of it? Sand and rocks. Actually, we still have more to read. What can you see in the sand and on the rocks at the beach? At low tide, the Tellin shell hides under the sand. So this is a kind of animal. It hides there because other animals like to eat it. It gets food and water with one of its siphons. So these are the siphons. Siphon is like a little pipe that comes out of the sand for it to eat. And then the next thing, which will be one of our last videos, we're going to talk about these barnacles. But first, a flat periwinkle. A flat periwinkle, it's a type of snail. A flat periwinkle, type of snail, and it's hiding in the green seaweed. So I see it right there. Wait, is that it? It must be it. A flat periwinkle. And just make sure. Flat periwinkle. This animal. Yeah, it's that snail. They don't look very flat, though. I wonder why they call them flat periwinkles. So we can see it here. And then a barnacle. The barnacle lives on rocks. Its shell grows onto the rocks, so it doesn't move when there are waves. And some barnacles actually grow on whales. Now let's look a little bit more at barnacles. We can see some photos of barnacles. They grow directly on animals. They kind of just stick onto animals, and these are their feet that they stick out of their shell to try to find food. You'll see them growing on whales. They grow on boats. Barnacles are everywhere if you're at the beach. They grow on rocks, and here we could see a whale with barnacles growing on its skin. They have a very strong glue in their body. Let's find out exactly what barnacles are. This is a little bit of a complex explanation, but let's give it a listen.
The next question comes from James and is accompanied by this photo. Thank you for sending that in. So James asks, what are these? My son thinks that they're barnacles, but what are barnacles? Are they a plant? Well, that's a great question. Barnacles are in fact animals, and they're quite closely related to crabs, lobsters and shrimps. They're crustaceans, and they live by attaching themselves to a surface and growing their shell over it to keep themselves protected. The animal itself, if you were to cut open the shell, can be found with its head, or attached to the surface by its forehead, with long feathery legs coming out of the shell when the tide is in, which then waft in the water column, allowing it to gather particles of food, for example plankton, which it can then consume. But as well as attaching them to rocks and physical surfaces like that, they can also attach themselves to larger animals. So you'll often find, if you go crabbing, a crab with a number of barnacles on its shell, and it's essentially treating the crab as a surface on which it can grow, which can become a bit of a problem for the crab if it has too many of them growing on it, as it adds extra weight to it. They can also be found growing on whales, for example humpback whales. You'll often see images of them with a large number of barnacles on their throat. So barnacles are a fantastically diverse group which can be most commonly found when the tide goes out. Do go and have a look for them. Just be careful on the rocks as they are very sharp and you could easily...
So that was our little lesson on barnacles. So barnacles are the type of animal that attaches itself to other things. Barnacle. So a barnacle is a type of animal that attaches itself to things. Type of shellfish, like a shrimp or a crab. Those are shellfish that attaches itself to things like rocks, or whales or turtles or anything. They'll attach themselves anywhere they can. They find a flat surface. Now we're going to answer some questions about the ocean. One moment. Let me just move into this window here. My tabs, my Jamboard. So we're done with this one. So at the beach, let's answer some of these questions. Wait a minute. Before we finish answering the questions, let's first finish looking at the barnacles. Are we done with the barnacles? I think we're done with the barnacles. Barnacle lives on rocks. Rock pools. We're not going to go to rock pools. Let's just go and answer these questions. So at the beach, what happens at the beach? Come back. Come back, please. At the beach, we get a pen. In the ocean, at low tide, what happens at low tide? So low tide is when the ocean goes down the beach. So at low tide is when the ocean goes down the beach. And sand. Sand is easy. Sand is it little pieces of rocks and shell? Is it the ocean goes up the beach? No, sand is little pieces of rocks and shell. And the last one, high tide. High tide, as we remember, high tide is when the ocean goes up the beach. So the ocean goes up the beach for high tide. Number 2, what do we have there? Number 2, that is a photo of, that is the beach. Let's go 1 space, 2 space, BEACH. And what belongs there is the A 3 is a shell. So shell, and the letter that fits here would be the E. And the next one, number 4. What is number 4? What does that look like? What do we have here? What is the ocean doing there? When the ocean goes up and down like that, what do you call those things? Wave. So waves. And I think we know what this answer is going to be here. OCEA. What do you think the last one is going to be? And then the last one, number 5, what is that? You see it at the beach. That is called sand. Sand is at the beach. So there, ocean, OCEAN. Down here, the answer is ocean. OCEAN, ocean. Moving on to number 2. I think this will be our last page. Number 2. Oh, got to write a whole sentence down there. Uh-oh. Number 2, we're going to mix and match sand and rocks. Match, then write the numbers. So number 1, the talon shell hides under the sand. So that's this one. Then number 2, the flat periwinkle. The flat periwinkle is the snail here. The flat periwinkle hides in the seaweed. So this guy is on some seaweed. This barnacle is on a rock. So the flat periwinkle hides in seaweed. And number 3, the barnacle lives on rocks. Boom. Boom, boom, boom. So the barnacle is, that one is number 3. And then the periwinkle, oh, can we just do this? The periwinkle, the flat periwinkle in this one is number 2. And, oh, now we got to get these words. They're all mixed up, and we got to put them in order. Oh, no. Let's try this. Let's see how we do. Let's see how we do. So barnacle rocks into grows the shell. The talon shell gets food with a siphon. Now, the barnacles, what do you think? The barnacles, what do you think? The barnacles, the barnacle shell grows onto rocks. Let's just stretch that out, give him a little bit more space. The barnacle shell grows onto rocks. And then the last one. Some grow on barnacles. What do you think? Some barnacles. What do we think? Some barnacles and whales. So just like the story, some barnacles. Some barnacles grow on whales. All right. So that's that. We are finished these pages. Now, let's quickly go back and review the words from today. So the first word from Happy Birthday Lee was chips. Chips are dried fried potatoes. I like to eat potato chips. The next one, lemonade. Lemonade is something you drink, and it has lemons in it, and water and sugar. A bun is a type of small bread. It's usually round. Paper plates are plates or dishes that are made out of paper. To moan is to make an uncomfortable sound like, oh, my stomach hurts. Skates are shoes that have wheels on them if you want to skate on the road, or they have blades on them if you want to skate on the ice. Apes are types of monkeys or a type of animal like a monkey with no tail, like a gorilla or a chimpanzee. Told is the past tense of tell. Sold is the past tense of sell. I want to sell my car today, or I could say I sold my car yesterday. To fold, I gave you the Chinese because it's a little bit hard to explain. To fold is to turn something onto itself and to make it smaller. That is to fold. Mold is the black stuff or the white stuff or the green stuff that will grow on your food. It will grow on bread, it will grow on fruit. It can even grow on your walls or on your floors. And let's move down to at the beach. What are the words that we learned for at the beach? We learned about the tides, why they come in and out. We learned that high tide is when the water in the ocean is high. Low tide is when the water in the ocean is very low. Gravity is the force that makes things fall. So if I hold this umbrella and I let it go, gravity will pull it to the ground. So gravity is a thing that pulls things to the ground. Coral is the hard stuff that grows inside of the ocean. Beautiful, beautiful coral, if you could see some. Let me show you a picture. Coral in the sea. So coral is very beautiful. You have soft corals, you have hard corals. It grows in the ocean, and unfortunately, parrotfish will scrape some of this off and poop it out to make beautiful white sand beaches. That's what parrotfish use, or that's part of what a parrotfish's diet is. And then lastly was a barnacle. Barnacles are these things that they grow on everything. They grow on many things that are in the ocean. They even will grow on animals. Barnacles. So those are the words for today. I hope you've enjoyed the class. This is much different in person when there's a child or a student that I can interact with or talk to directly. But for today, this is what we have for today. I hope you had a good time, and thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.